these are the people in our profession that are making our jobs more difficult. And that should stir you up. If you are currently in law enforcement or you want to go into law enforcement, you should be even more mad because these are the people that are making your job hard. These are the reason why people are out there protesting in the streets. These are the people that give reason or excuses to the fact of why somebody wants to go out there and act reckless. It's these people that are allowing people to have these stupid excuses as to why they hate cops. Hey, what's going on, guys? Before we jump into today's podcast, I just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Thin Line Anthem. If you guys want to get in shape, make sure you guys check out Thin Line Anthem at thinlineanthem.com. Make sure you guys use promo code It's Needed, all caps, no spaces, for 25% off your order at checkout. Thanks again and God bless. Yo, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the It's Needed podcast, where we discuss real issues involving law enforcement in the community. It's your boy Ryan Tillman, founder of Breaking Barriers United, and I'm joined today by the light-skinned warrior himself, Mr. Oh No, it's the Popo. My guy in the building, and we're also joined by the Savage himself.
What's going on, everyone?
Bro, I must say, man, that was impressive. I walked in the studio in 2 minutes, and we were up and running fast as we've ever done on a podcast.
We're getting
that's the new 2020 standard. All right, that's the energy we bring in all 2021 long. All
that was quick. It's amazing what you will do when you ain't trying to get divorced.
That's what did it right there. Truth be told,
man, I gotta be home, so I'm gonna jump off the podcast earlier. My wife, she has an appointment to go get a nice massage done, and I do not want to make her late to that appointment, and so hence the fact I will be leaving early. And the reason I'm late today is because I was on the golf course again. So
listen to the life that families live in. Massages and golf courses.
Golf courses.
It's all an illusion, bro. It's all an illusion.
It's all Instagram. It's Instagram.
It's all an illusion.
Billy got an iPhone 12. Y'all living good out in Cali, man.
I'm living lavishly, baby.
We're living lavishly. But anyway, hey, we are in 2021. I am excited about the new year. Like me and AJ talked about last time, we're just going to continue the momentum. You should already have momentum leaving 2020 into 2021, so you shouldn't just be changing just because the date changed. And so I'm excited, man. I did make a vow to myself this year that I'm going to try to draw closer to God. The closest I have, I'm going to try to meditate, do whatever I can daily just to stay in that word, stay equipped, because that's what life is about. So but anyways, for the sake of time, this is going to be like a low-key passion episode. And I'm going to jump into it because something happened over the weekend, which was fine. And actually, it didn't really bother me at all. But because we have this podcast and I have the ability to vent, that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to kind of skip some of the current events that we have. Like I said, for the sake of time, AJ and Billy will probably stick around with you guys a little bit longer. And then we'll go from there.
That's when all the ratings going to go up. As soon as Ryan leaves, the viewers is going to spike towards the end of the podcast.
That's when the viewership is going to go down. So
all the reviews will be like, the AJ Billy podcast, man. It's great.
Oh, man. So what do you call it? It's been a wild, crazy weekend, to say the least. How's everything on your end, AJ?
Good, man. I just started a YouTube page. So I'm all in that. I was like typing my man Billy, like needing like some advice from him. So everybody go to AJ Speaks YouTube and subscribe.
That man got himself a YouTube page.
Do it, guys.
2021. My man came out swinging with the YouTube page.
Yeah, and if you can't find it, like, it's weird. I don't know how YouTube works yet. So if you can't find it, like, go to my Instagram or TikTok, and there's like links in my story and whatnot.
Okay, so we're gonna jump right into this topic because this kind of, like I said, it didn't make me mad. It makes me mad, but not for the reasons that y'all think is gonna make me mad.
It ain't make me mad, but I was mad, y'all. Listen.
Yeah, right, for real. By the way, shout out to all of our listeners. You guys loved our last episode of the podcast. That was a phenomenal way to end the year, so shout out to you guys. But what I want to get into, and I just want to hop right into it, I received a screenshot of a message the other day about a post that somebody felt like they had to talk about me. And I don't really care when people talk about me. I don't really care when people talk about me. I've kind of learned early on, like, hey, you know what? You must be making waves if people are talking about you. So I kind of really embrace it. The reason I'm fired up about this is because the people talking about me are the supposed to be the ones that actually support me.
You know
that are
person?
actually no, I don't know. I'm talking about their police officers. And when police officers come at me and take jabs and stuff like that, that to me is proof that there needs to be changes within our system. Because it'd be different if I was out here, doing some unethical, immoral stuff, things that really are a black eye to the profession. But when I have a heart to change things, to move our profession forward, to make our job easier as police officers, and somebody takes a personal jab at me, that's what makes me mad. So it's not the jab itself at me, it's the fact of these people are a living example of why people feel the way they feel about law enforcement. Because if you can talk about me like that, if you can talk about AJ like that, then how do you feel about members of the community? How do you feel about those that are out there screwing up, that are members of the community, but yet you bring a certain type of energy to them because you don't have that cultural competency like we talked about in the last episode. So y'all can see I came in fired up today. So
is this the king slap?
Yep, okay. Exactly. So I got tagged in a post, or I don't even follow their page. The page is called Choir Practice, and for those of you guys that don't know what choir practice is in the law enforcement profession, choir practice is basically anytime officers finish their shift, the officers and their shift will get together, hang out, and just talk crap or whatever. Just chop it up. Sometimes it's not always talking crap, but a lot of times it is.
Have some drinks.
Yeah, talking about the supervisors, things like that. So that's what choir practice is in the law enforcement profession. So this person started a page from that's called Choir Practice. I'm not going to say the agency that I believe they work for. Only thing I know based on rumor is that they probably work for an agency in Southern California, LAPD. But anyways, what's
the exact
Let's
Instagram
go.
handle?
It's a PD out this way.
What's the exact Instagram handle? I can't find it.
It's choir_practice.
Okay.
And so they made a post about me that basically it was a screenshot of my page, and it says this. It says King Slap, and then it says breaking barriers but doesn't break leather. 4 years as a cop for a slap department and is instantly a expert. No street cred. So this is what they made about me on their page. Now, first and foremost, this person has no idea who I am. This person has no idea of my life experience. This person has no idea of my career experience. Second of all, is if you're going to take a jab at me, make sure you know the facts and make sure you know who I am before you start taking jabs at me. And so it's people like you that need to leave the profession simply because you're the one that's giving us the black eye. You're the one that's giving these people the attitude in the street. You're the one that's probably using excessive force or trying to beat somebody up because you're taking things personally. If you can take a jab at me, then I know you can probably take a jab at those in the public that don't deserve it. I don't mind you taking jabs at me, but don't ever take that energy out or bring that energy to the members of our public. So I'm fired up, bro, because this is not the first time that somebody's taking a jab. I don't really be tripping, but when you want to call me out, make sure you come with that same energy when you call me out. I don't even be tripping simply because I know what I'm on this earth to do. I know the relationships that I have. And so usually when people do that is one of two reasons. Either they're jealous or they really have nothing else going for them. And so y'all can see I came in hot. Part of it is because I got to leave early, but I had to get this off my chest. Go ahead, AJ.
No, that's good, man. And these individuals that we're talking about are the ones that don't want the profession to change, but yet complain that we constantly fall into the same hole. These are the officers who are out here like, well, why are you engaging with the community when there's drug dealers out here and blah, blah, blah. You need to be kicking in doors. And then when we have an uprising or people upset at police departments because there's a lot of uses of force or bad uses of force or whatever, they're the same ones who are like, well, I don't get blah, 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 blah. Like, you're the reason, bro. Chill. Like leave. You go somewhere else. Like, this clearly is not the profession for you. Back in the day, you could get away with that mentality, but I said it before and I'll say it again. Like, we're here for a reason. We have this black eye for a reason. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of reasons there are a lot of reasons why we're here that don't directly involve us, right? So we could say the media, politics, and all of that. But the way that we've policed up until this point is a big reason why we're here today. We have to be willing to admit that. And if you're not willing to admit that, then you have to be willing to walk away from this profession. You have to. You got to be able to see, like, we have to be able to go out into the community and serve and be able to be that catalyst to spark the change or to be the change. And you always have these old heads, or this is the really good part. The officers who have never done anything in their career who walk around like they are just King Tut.
Yep.
Like that's my favorite. That is my all-time favorite. The ones who walk around, they got 37 magazines on them at all times and 3 guns and 27 pocket knives and thin blue line everything and cargo pants. You know, it's just like, bro, chill. You ain't did nothing in your whole career. Like, you got a cop, now all of a sudden you think you hot stuff. Like, relax. You wouldn't survive a day where I work. So why don't you just chill, fall back a little bit, all right? So you know where this person works.
Oh, from what I've heard, this is where this person works. And what makes me mad is just like, we are not public bullies. We're public servants. And so when you try to bully me, you better come with that energy. I don't care. Like, and that's my thing is come correct, because you know, just, you don't know me, you don't know anything about me. And so just because I do, you know, certain things that you're not used to, that's new to you, that you're not accustomed to, that's against the grain, just because it's different doesn't make it wrong. You know what I mean? And so that's what just makes me upset, is because I know if you have the audacity to call me out like that publicly as a police officer, then you're probably the same guy that's heavy-handed when you're out there serving the community. And that you are proof to why there needs to be a bridge in the gap between law enforcement and the community. You're the reason.
So Ryan, when you first chose this profession, or should I say when this profession chose you, did you receive like any backlash? Were people talking crap about you or anything like that?
Absolutely, I did.
So you became a police officer, you started doing really good work, and then you seen an issue within the profession that chose you, so you wanted to improve it. You created Breaking Barriers United. You got into schools, you know, all the universities, traveling the country. Did you receive pushback and negativity when you did that?
Absolutely.
So this is what I want to ask our listeners. If Ryan would have caved when individuals refused to see his dream or were incapable of seeing his dream, and in return projected their fears upon him, where would he be at today? So I need everybody to be with me right now, because I feel like this is one of the biggest deterrents in why we aren't where we're supposed to be as individuals worldwide, is our fear of what others are going to say. And, you know, I just told you I started a YouTube channel, right? And I'm not going to go into the whole story about how this vision came to me and all this stuff. But I believe that God came down and was like, hey, you got to do this. This is how I want you to do it. This is how I want it to look, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not there yet, but I'm working towards it. And as soon as I woke up that morning, I immediately thought, like, man, what are people going to think when I start doing this? And I myself had to push through that, because it's not my job to worry about what other people think, because they can't see what I see. My dream is not theirs, and their dreams are not mine. So when people come to me and say something crazy, I'm going to be the president. My thing is, I'm going to support you. Okay, let's do it. What can I do to help? And if that's not your circle's immediate reaction, despite what you go to them with, you got to find a new circle of friends. You have to find a new circle of friends. Your friends should support you no matter what. No matter what. I mean, as long as it's something positive, nothing like crazy, like I'm going to go out and be a mass murderer, blah, blah, blah. But as long as it's something positive, your friends should support you. I could go to anybody in my circle, Ryan included, Billy included, and say, hey, I'm going to learn Chinese tomorrow. And we're going to go back and forth and joke a little bit. But then after that, it's game on. Okay, what can I do? How can I hold you accountable? How can I push you closer to your goals? You're always going to have these individuals who are running on a treadmill in life. They mistake movement for progress. Let me say that one more time. You always have individuals who run on treadmills in life. They mistake movement for progress. Therefore, they feel like their opinion matters to others just because they're moving a lot. You ain't going nowhere. I don't expect you to see my dreams, but keep my name out your mouth.
Exactly.
Look, that's my thing. I flip this switch. I'll fly out to Cali with Ryan, and we'll drive up to Los Angeles so we can have a one-on-one conversation. And I ain't talking about nothing rowdy, but, I'll pull up on you just to say, hey, I heard you say X, Y, and Z. I just want to hear it from your mouth, because I don't do this whole rumor mill. Can we talk about it? I want to give you the opportunity to get to know me a little bit more. And 9 times out of 10, those people will clam up and be like, oh, no, I was joking, or I didn't mean it like that.
Exactly.
It's like, you can't get too wrapped up in these individuals. And, as you see, you being our listeners or YouTube watchers or whatever, it's going to bother you, right? Like when you hear people talking about you, or when you feel like negative energy coming towards you, like it's going to bother you. Just know that that's natural, right? Like that's a natural reaction to negativity. Like it's going to bother you, but for how long and the severity of how it bothers you is completely up to you. Completely up to you.
Exactly. And like I said, I want you guys to realize, like, don't get it twisted. Like, when I come with the energy that I'm coming with today, is not because I'm taking it personal. I'm not taking it personal at all. What I am taking personal is the fact that these people that are talking about me, these are the ones that I'm out there defending. These are the ones that I'm out there sticking up for. So when you screw up and I'm trying to go out there and say, give reason to why you may have chose to do what you do, when I stick up for you and then you want to come back and try to, backstab me, the public suffers from it. The public suffers from it. The profession suffers from it. So if you are in this profession or you're aspiring to be in this profession, then this should also make you upset, because that person that made that post, and they didn't just hit me up. I guess all they do is just talk about cops. They talked about, I got a screenshot. They talked about a guy that had the tattoos from Upland Police Department. They actually talked about some members of my department that made a video, like a fitness video or whatever. Oh, yeah, so they just talk. So all they do is just talk about cops. So my thing is like, if you are in the profession for the right reasons, or you're trying to go into the profession for the right reasons, this should equally make you upset, because it's those people that are going to make your job a lot harder, because those people are the reason why people don't trust us. And that's what makes me so fired up. It ain't about me. If it was just about Ryan Tillman, I wouldn't be tripping. As a matter of fact, when I saw it, I actually just laughed. Like, my boy,
we all laughed about it because you sent it out in the
exactly. My boy that sent it to me, he was actually more fired up than I was. I was like, bro, don't even trip. Like I've had people talk about me all the time. Like, I'm not even tripping. Like, think about all these, celebrities or anybody influential. You can always go and find out somebody that's trying to dig up dirt on you. What I said is when I saw that, I was like, oh shoot, I must be making some waves because people got to figure it. They got to talk about me now. So I must be doing something right. So it don't bother me. That part don't bother me. What bothers me is that these are the people in our profession that are making our jobs more difficult. And that should stir you up. If you are currently in law enforcement, or you want to go into law enforcement, you should be even more mad, because these are the people that are making your job hard. These are the reason why people are out there protesting in the streets. These are the reason that these are the people that give reason or excuses to the fact of why somebody wants to go out there and act reckless. It's these people that are allowing people to have these stupid excuses as to why they hate cops.
And we all know who they are. Don't act brand new. We all know who they are, whether it's on our department, our precinct, our unit. Like, there's always that one officer to where if you step out of their comfort zone, they're going to be the ones that are like, you see AJ out here, he got a TikTok, he's dancing with kids and blah, blah, blah. But then the moment that it positively affects them, then they're like, oh yeah, AJ, that's my guy. We work together. It's just like,
yeah, exactly.
You're wasting all your energy. You're wasting all of your energy. So yeah, man, that's sad, man. But it, like you said, like, it just goes to show that there's room for improvement. Like that's just proof, like, for anybody who is listening to this, who might be on the fence, like, well, I'm not sure, this should be a prime example for you. Like, we have individuals who wear this badge who get upset and sling mud at other officers who are trying to better the profession. And that's look, you about to get me started. All right.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I've been through this, and I really want to, like, lead with a motivational foot with this, because like I said, it's so easy to get wrapped up and angry and just want to, like, start spouting out.
Come with the negative energy, Ryan, baby.
My man Ryan is a prime example. You know what I mean? Like, we just listed off things that he's done in his life, and if he wouldn't have done them, he wouldn't be who he is today, right? Same thing with me. Like, when I decided to join the police force, somebody threatened to shoot my mother's house up. I'm like, well, you can shoot the house up. Like, we ain't going to be there, but I'm going to still be a cop at the end of the day, right? And then when I became a cop, the same thing. I saw an issue with the profession and was like, well, I'm going to do something. I'm going to shine a positive light on it the only way that I know how. I'm going to record myself going out into the community, people talking crap about it. That blew up, made me the person that I am today. I want to go out and I want to speak at universities and detention centers and prisons and share my story with individuals to spread hope and inspiration and motivation. Oh, AJ barely graduated high school. He's so ghetto. How he's going to do that? And I've been to Harvard. Like, if I'd have listened to you, think I would have stepped foot on Harvard's campus? You have to. Let me calm down, because I'm going to start yelling at this mic.
Nah, come with it, baby. We got that insurance. We built up our insurance policy. We good.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You have to take that in a positive way. You have to. Like, once you're done with your initial reaction, right? Oh, AJ such and such said whatever, right? Get it out. Oh, he said what? Like, man, he must not know who he's talking to. I can call him blah, 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 right? But once that's done, I need you to take that and be like, okay, if he mad now, just wait. Just wait, because I ain't even scratched the surface.
Yep.
I'm just getting started and you mad.
Yep. Don't
be on my coattails when we blow up, or when the change actually comes. Don't be part of that. Like, oh yeah, we brought change. Like, no, you slowed us down. You were in anchor. We talked about that in one of our first podcasts. You were in anchor. Like, stop it. This podcast is a prime example, right? We're going to start a podcast. We ain't know nothing about podcasts. We in a group text. Like, did you look up something this week? Yeah, I looked up something. Billy, you got anything? Yeah, I got some clip arts. We all going back and forth. What are we going to call it? Blah, blah, blah. And there was that fear in the back of my head. Like, what are people going to say? But we ain't care. We pushed through it. We did it. We committed. And here we are today. Ranking number 6 in the world for government podcasts?
Yeah.
You got to take that in a positive way. I'm going to pray for the officer. I'm going to pray for him, and then I'm going to pray with him when I come out to Cali next time.
Hey, I'm going to pray with him after I cuss him out. But no, so and you're right, man. And so, and that, to take that and, like you said, to spin it to be positive and motivative, that's how I took it. I actually just allowed it to give me more energy. It actually fired me up.
Yeah, this is our vent session right here. You know how we do.
Exactly. It fired me up, and so there's so many different things going on, man. I just got a text message this morning, and I can't tell you guys what I could tell AJ and Billy when we're off of here, but
it was the Obamas.
Yeah, right.
Trump, yeah, right. Oprah.
Yeah, right. But
I can't even joke about Oprah no more because you was really with Oprah. So that's
oh man, it was really it's a dope thing that I just got sent to me this morning, a project that I'm working on that I've already told the fellas about, and I can't tell you guys right now, but that's the stuff I'm talking about. And when this project is completed, trust me, there's going to be people I know for a fact, they're going to be like, oh man, I've been knowing Ryan since he first started. Or, oh, hey Ryan, man, remember we cool? Or somebody's going to ask about me. Oh, you know, oh yeah, that's my dog. Like, nah. Like, no, like I'm not going to dog you out. I'm not going to treat you like dirt. I will always come and lead with that forgiveness because that's what's owed to you. But trust, I won't forget. And the reason I'm not going to forget is because I know if you did it to me, you can also do it to everybody else. And I said that too, like as I move up, hopefully, prayfully, I can promote up through the ranks. But when you have interactions with one of your peers or you see how they do things, that stuff you won't forget. And it's not like I'm trying to hold you back from moving forward, but it's just the reality of if you treat me like that and I'm in a position to elevate you, but I know how you are, why would I want to elevate you knowing that you're going to do that to somebody else? And so you got to be careful on who you dog out and who you don't, because you want to dog me out, trust, there might be a day where you actually need me and vice versa.
Did I ever go over the reasons why people become police officers? Did I ever share that with you on the podcast? So, my first year, maybe second year on the police force, I narrowed down 3.5 reasons why people become police officers. And I haven't come across somebody yet that I can't put into one of these categories. All right. So the first category is it's a decent paying job where you don't need a college degree. The second reason is you got little man syndrome, right? Like you got picked on, this badge gives you power, right? It's going to your head, whatever. The third reason is you were called to it. You were called to this profession to make a change, to help others for whatever reason. This is your calling. And then the half is generational. So like my dad was a cop, his dad was a cop, whatever. And even in describing these individuals that talk about other police officers trying to bring a positive light to the profession, you could automatically put them in which category? You got little man syndrome. Like you got picked on.
Yep.
You got picked on. Why are you putting all this energy? And the only reason I say that is you could be generational, right? That's why it's a half. It's not even a whole one to me, because that half could kind of fall into any of the other three. But if you pick this job because it's a decent paying job, you don't care about what other officers is doing. You worried about your paycheck. You worried about your money, which, hey, Get your money, man. As long as you ain't doing nothing crazy, I ain't mad at you. If you were called to this profession, you for sure ain't talking about somebody trying to bring a positive light to it. You're trying to surround yourself by those individuals and lift them higher and closer to their goals. Which leaves what? You got little man syndrome. So let me go ahead and bring you a phone book when we meet up so you can sit on it and you can see over dashboard next time.
Bro, you know what's funny? So I just got sent over a short film that's not released yet, and it was crazy, bro. Like, and the people that are producing this short film are Diddy. It's Diddy. Who else is it? I think it's Kevin Durant and somebody else. And so, and it's about law enforcement, obviously, law enforcement in this whole social injustice movement going on. And as I'm watching it, like, part of me was angry because I'm thinking, like, man, this is so one-sided, meaning it is a video that shows law enforcement and that's not really law enforcement. But there's that but then I had to bring myself back, and I was like, but this, what they're showing is the reality for some people. Like, the way they view law enforcement, this is the reality. And not only the way they view it, for some people, the way they're depicting law enforcement is real, because it shows in the video, it shows a black guy essentially that continues to get killed by police in different circumstances. And I can't go into it for the sake of confidentiality, but in my mind, I'm thinking, and AJ, you sent me a video a few weeks ago. You know what video I'm talking about. And I thought about that video, and I'm like, man, this depiction is real for some people. And and I try for myself to, when I'm looking at law enforcement, when I'm evaluating at law enforcement, I don't ever want to get to the place where I am so far, like, removed from reality, or some people's reality, that all of a sudden I just become so pro law enforcement that I don't recognize the wrong that's going on within law enforcement. But it's hard because I see the realities of law enforcement. I realize we don't always mess up as much as we do. And so my point is that when people send me that stuff or make posts about that, like of me or whatever, somebody else in law enforcement, that only confirms or affirms some of the things that I see when people are depicting law enforcement in a negative light. Because if you're doing that to one of your so-called own, somebody that's in the profession, I know you're doing that to people that you don't care about, that may not be the same color skin as you, may not grow up like you did, may not talk like you,
over too.
Yeah, may not sound like that you have authority over. I know for dang sure you're probably treating them no better than me. Yeah, and so that's what makes me upset and angry, is like, these are the black eyes that we need to get rid of in the profession. So if you are one of our followers or listeners of this podcast, I want y'all to go ahead and get into choir_practices
I couldn't
DM.
find them, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They probably blocked us. Get into choir_practices DM.
How is this might be a dumb question, but how is choir spelled? Because I see the spell too.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Nah, don't even try. That's not no dumb question,
if people
bro.
have been listening from the beginning, they know geography and spelling. We're terrible.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, but y'all know what we talking about though, so that's all that matters. So they spell choir practice CHOIR .practice.
Okay.
So get in their DM, and I want you to tear their butt up.
Like,
yeah, we don't even ask for that often. So this for real.
This is a personal favor.
Yeah, actually, you have to follow them because they're private. So everyone should follow them, and like they'll be let in. And then we should DM
I
them.
want y'all. I'm asking a personal favor for y'all.
Should I follow them from the It's Needed podcast one?
Nah, don't even follow them. Nah.
Okay.
Nah, but
no, that's the trick. That's the trick bag. Is like, do you follow them and like give them followers?
Nah, because they're gonna be hyped up because we only follow each other on Instagram, so they'd be hyped up if we start following them, because that would make
you know what you could do is you could just report them. Like, if a bunch of people report them, they're gonna take it down for a minute and investigate the page. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just saying that happens sometimes.
But it says, be sponsored, digital wave, old school banter, station comedy, patrol car fun, and boosting morale. How is that boosting morale? Like,
nice, bro.
So anyway,
hey, Billy, speaking of boosting morale, Billy, you almost got me in a fight with one of my coworkers.
What do you mean? What happened?
Over this last One Has to Go. They were upset I never seen Star Wars.
I'm telling you, you've avoided the biggest movies in the world, like of all time.
And the funny thing is, I didn't even know this person listened. So hopefully he's listening right now. So when he called me, I'm like, oh, this is something important because we don't even like really talk all like that. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, man, how you ain't watch Star Wars? I'm like,
I agree, man. I'm not saying I'm like some super fan, but I've seen them. You know, I just feel like it's just one of those things in life.
I made my wife. I turned on the podcast and made my wife pick the last 3 episodes of One Has to Go. What you saying, Ryan?
Speaking of that, somebody from the last episode was like, when Billy said fried chickens gotta go, I'm crying laugh out loud. This was such a good episode.
Dude,
talking about the last.
Someone on Facebook was like, Billy, when you said greens gotta go, I think you lost your brother card.
And it was questionable from the jump anyway.
Yeah, I was like, I never had that. I wear New Balance, man. I never had that.
And Crocs. New Balance. Actually, New Balance is back. Like, you know, New Balance is like a shoe that people are rocking now. So it's bizarre.
Oh, man, I started that apparently.
You started it. Billy, what's up with you, man? I feel like we didn't get to catch up.
Well,
like,
I'm gonna let y'all catch up, and I'm gonna do something different. Billy, I'm actually gonna put you in this chair, bro.
I gotta like look at the camera and audio.
Nah, you good.
Put him in the chair.
Billy gets the chair today, so Billy gets to fill in as the.
So if you don't watch on YouTube and you want to see what I look like,
hey, here you go. Now's your chance.
I'm gonna interview Billy for the last few minutes of this.
Please do that. Please do that. Be something different. But hey, y'all, I gotta bounce. Like I told y'all, my bride, she's gonna go get a massage. She deserves it. Our kids have been terrorizers a little bit, so she deserves it. So I gotta skip out early. But I wanted to let you guys know I am so honored to be a co-host of this podcast for you guys. You guys truly make the world go round for us, and I am excited to start 2021 off. So thank you for listening to my vent session. I needed that because I was ready to put some tips on somebody, but I think I'm good now. I'm gonna go back. I got my woosah in. I'm gonna get back in my word like I said I was. But AJ, always good seeing you, bro. I'm gonna call you later.
Real quick.
Yep, go ahead.
If I call you in like 10 or 15 minutes, can I put you on speakerphone so you could do the One Has to Go? Or are you gonna be like two?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Do you have one ready, man?
I got one ready.
Okay.
Oh yeah. That's because
so when I call you, just know I'm gonna put you on speakerphone. So don't say nothing. That's my disclaimer. Just know, don't say nothing crazy.
All right, I'll make sure I answer.
Yep.
All right, buddy. Love y'all. I'll see y'all next week, and I'll talk to y'all in a little bit.
Yep.
See you, man.
Thanks, bro. I'll come probably tonight and get the laptop for you.
Okay. All right, guys, let's get to the real podcast. I'm going to re-intro. Yo,
Billy,
what's going
intro.
on? It's your boy, Billy Stuckman. Welcome to the It's Needed podcast, where we discuss real issues involving law enforcement in the community. Oh, it's your boy, Billy Stuckman. I said that twice. And I'm joined.
How many takes you going to do?
I don't know. You'd think I'd know it by now because I hear it 300
Billy,
times a week.
you got good posture. It's weird seeing you sit in that seat. Like your spinal cord is like straight. I feel like, or your spinal cord. I feel like your spine is very straight and like proper.
Thank you. Yeah, it's from zero swag, so I don't have any. You know, I got none of this.
Yeah, is that how I'm doing? Let me try what you're doing right now. See how I'm not even on camera. Let me get back comfortable.
Yeah.
So talk to us, Billy. What's up? What's new in your life?
I was just in Florida all last week, man. So doing a job
Nice.
I do a job out there every year. It's like a cheer competition, and I'm the video guy. Like, you know, they get their routines and everything. So it was a long week, but I'm glad to be back.
So a lot of your civilian friends have to know that you're like the producer for a law enforcement podcast, right?
Yeah, I mean, the people I see every day, they know I do this for sure.
So do they ever ask like questions like, man, what's it like being around like, you know, Ryan or AJ or like these cops all the time? Or do they just like, they don't really care?
Not really, because the people that I'm talking about also know Ryan because they're all from church. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, so they get to see Ryan too. So it's not like this, like, oh, like you're doing something we never see, you know?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Are you ever surprised at the amount of pushback and negativity that we receive from like within the department and our own officers?
Oh, look, everyone listening, like they're serious. Like they don't get mad about this stuff. I'm the only one in the text message. Like, you know what? We should slam them on a post. And Ryan's like, nah, don't even worry about it.
We got to talk Billy off the ledge like more times than not. Like Billy might seem calm and collected, but hey, he is really the hawk. Like when we joke with Billy, like we are not joking. Like he breaks things. It's like going off because he knows. So Billy runs the Breaking Barriers page, Instagram page, and probably the Facebook, all of it,
and
right?
YouTube. And YouTube, we get some like
so
nasty
he sees
comments.
all of these comments way before we do it. He'll send it out like, "Did you see what this person said? And that person, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh, Billy, chill, man. You don't gotta talk nobody out, man."
Yeah, there was someone who would talk. I actually admitted blocking this person. It's the only person I've ever blocked because every time we post, they would like call me out by name. Like, tell the truth, Billy. Like, you know, you guys only defend police officers. Yeah, I was like, man, forget this. Like, I really tried to talk to him. I was like, oh, I thought you were seriously wanting to talk, but you want to troll me, you know?
Just negativity.
Yeah, it was
absolutely negative or absolute negativity. There you go. You go.
Yeah.
So since you started the podcast with us, for those of you who haven't listened since like the very beginning of the podcast, like all three of us started this at the same time, been rocking ever since. What is like the biggest takeaway towards the profession that you have today? Like, how have you changed in a good way, a bad way, just from like a civilian standpoint?
That's such a hard question for me to answer because again, I didn't come into this thinking I didn't even really think about law enforcement. Like, okay, they're doing their job and that's cool.
Do you think you would have thought more about law enforcement? So say we never started this podcast and then like George Floyd happened and Breonna Taylor and like all these, do you think you would have like been more involved? Like, man, hold on, like what's going on in law enforcement? Do you think maybe the podcast changed the way you thought about those incidents, or you just kind of like
I really do get to hear like the details about everything, and I guess learning tactics and things does help. But like even if I wasn't a part of this and that happened, I was kind of already leaning towards like I support law enforcement, and obviously if something really like George Floyd, I obviously don't support that. I don't know if that answers the question. I wouldn't be out there protesting. That's what I'm trying to say.
I can see you out there with a sign, and you probably hit me with the scooter. As a matter of fact, it was
it was my posture. It just really allowed me to.
It was your good posture. You're sitting straight up. All right, let's do this. One got to go. I'm gonna call Ryan. Let's see what's the chances he picks up right away.
If people are still listening, they're like, man,
I don't know about
with
this.
Ryan gone.
Everybody tuning in right now. All right, here we go. Let's see if you pick up. This is a good one too, so I need you ready.
Okay.
That's not too loud, is it, Billy?
No, not at all.
Hello?
What's up, brother?
Hey, that was fast.
That was. We ran out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
Billy
man,
just kept answering.
I'm not good at this. I'm not a
He
host.
just kept doing what?
Billy has really good posture, by the way, though. Like when he sat down, I don't think anyone ever sat in that chair with as good as posture as Billy has right now. And his face is really red. He just reclined back. All right, y'all ready for this? One has to go.
Let's do it.
All right, you ready, Billy?
Yep.
All right, one has to go. This is kind of like related to COVID because you'll understand why. All right, one has to go. Your hearing, your sight, your taste, or your smell.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
If you lose your smelling, doesn't your taste kind of go too?
Sight, taste, or smell?
Hearing, sight, taste, or smell.
I'm gonna go with smell.
You're gonna go with smell. What was that part you just said, Billy?
I was gonna go with smell too, but I think if your smell goes, doesn't like it affect your taste?
So it won't affect anything else. You just won't have it.
Oh yeah, then smell easy.
And is that permanently or like
forever? No, forever.
Just 3 months.
I'm gonna go with smell.
Smell?
Yeah, smell.
Billy said smell too. I'm going with taste, and here's why. Here's why. I would be the healthiest person on the earth. I would just eat super healthy because everything healthy is nasty anyway.
That's true. But if somebody fart, bro, you won't go smell it.
You don't want to smell it. How you gonna know? Like if the house is on fire, you just gonna be sleeping. Like the hallway on fire. Like
food is like one of the.
Smell, bro. I don't gotta smell none of that.
Food is like one of the best like pleasures of being a human. People love food and like.
No, I know. So Billy said people love food, so he ain't trying.
It's just like one of the great things about being alive is eating.
It's one of the great things about being alive.
As you can tell.
Oh man,
cool.
That was great. Y'all know my one has to go. I'll come with another one next week with you guys.
All right, bring the heat, brother.
All right, man. I'll talk to y'all.
Yep. Billy, give us some closing words, brother. Send us home on a motivational tip, ready to take on 2021.
Man, first Monday, 2021, get some.
Get some. You know, what's funny is I started this YouTube channel, and that's how I came in on the YouTube channel. Like, hey, welcome to the very first Monday of 2021. And I was like, man, that sounds corny, but it took me way too many takes. I was like, I'm gonna just put that in there.
I watched part of the video. Was that at the intro of it? Maybe I didn't have my volume up or something.
No, so the intro is the intro is like 30 seconds long.
Where the
which I feel
logo
like
is there, right? The logo,
and it might be too long.
So you have that intro, and then it goes into you talking to the camera?
Yeah, and then it goes into like a video.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to release like just like a motivational video every Monday to start the work week off going into 2021. That way, you know, you got a positive outlook on things, because 2020 was so negative and like draining. And, you know, when you're around that constantly, it affects your health and like your mental health, your physical health, and, you know, just everything, like your relationships with your family, your profession and whatnot. So, you know, going into 2021, I at least want to try to do something to get some positivity out there once a week, minimum once a week, probably more often than that. You know, I'm a very firm believer that you can't complain about something without doing something to help that issue out, or to try to be part of that solution. So, you know, that's my part of, you know, at least trying to be the solution. That way, if something does happen, I can't complain about it and go, well, I'm trying to do this and y'all negative. So,
yeah. Well, you used to speak quite often, so you probably miss it too.
I do. And this is like and this is like another way of staying sharp and, you know, just really like fine tuning or keeping the skills that I already have, or that I think I already have. So, you know, when COVID hit, it really changed things up, because we had to do the Zoom thing, and Zoom is just awkward, because a lot of my presentations, like Ryan's, you know, are very like involved with the crowd, pulling students up and pulling teachers on stage, and, you know, interacting, and then talk about that interaction and breaking it down. So
you have to like feel the crowd out. It doesn't hit the same on Zoom. You can't tell their reactions.
You do. And if you say a joke and it's like quiet and you're like, well, did somebody laugh? And then there's always somebody who like doesn't turn their mic off, and you hear them like eating Cheetos in the back, like or farting, and you're like, did you just fart
their
in the
mom's
mic?
Yelling
like,
in the background.
Yeah. So it's just super awkward. But going into this new year, it's Monday. We're coming off of a really, really negative year. Some will say it's been the worst year ever. I want you to remember to stay as positive as you can, despite how negative the situation may seem. There's always a positive spin on it. You know, I'm working with one arm right now, but I'm thankful that I have that one arm, you know, and I'm constantly reminding myself that there are people who live their life with no arms successfully, right? And they're extremely happy. When I went on my mission trip to El Salvador, you know, it seemed like they had very little, right? Like they lived on like a homemade shack with like a tin roof, and there's like 6 kids sleeping on a mattress, but their attitudes were always extremely positive. So that's how we have to look at life. Like sometimes we get so wrapped up in what we have, or, you know, what we don't have, who our friends are, how many followers we have. You know, focus on what matters this year. And that's you. Like you can't pour into others until you're pouring into yourself, until your cup is full. So fill your cup up and then pour into others, and go out there and kill it. Like make this year your year. I don't want to hear, 2021 is my year. You ain't doing nothing to make it your year.
Just keep your head down and keep pushing. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And, you know, Ryan was worked up with the people hating on him. That's because he's passionate about what he's doing. Like he's seen the change in individuals doing what he does. So of course, you know, he's going to take it personal. We're going to take it personal to an extent when we hear somebody, especially within our own profession, talk negative about that. So just know that that's coming too, right? Like if you have a dream of, you know, improving law enforcement, or if you have a vision of doing whatever, starting your own business, maybe even changing professions, like do it. Don't expect anyone else to understand your vision. It's yours. It's not theirs. Like think about all the major accomplishments we've had throughout our lifetime, right? Like the internet, computers, smartphones. Like, can you imagine if somebody brought that idea up to you? You'd probably be like, a smartphone? What? Like I got this flip phone with a Nextel chirper. You want a iPhone? You're out of your mind. That ain't gonna work. That wasn't your vision. That was not your vision. But those individuals ignored the naysayers and stayed on track, and then they essentially really changed the world. So you just don't know how far you're gonna reach. So reach further, keep your head down, push through the negativity, and that's what we're gonna do all 2021 long.
And I really like what you said about focus on what's important. Something I heard is like when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So like whenever I've taken, let's say, a job where I'm like, okay, well, the pay wasn't that great, but I just got to say yes, you know, but that's saying no to family time. So I'm at a job that I'm upset I took because I'm not getting paid enough. And you know, when I could have, like, what was more important? This kind of, okay, a little more in the checking account, or like family time that I could have spent. So,
and that's deep. So every morning I wake up, I listen to like a motivational clip once again, just to start off on the right track. I'll dive into the Bible a little bit, read some scriptures and whatnot. And a couple days ago, I was listening to, I think, Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is my guy. Like, I love me.
He has some good like monologues, man.
Yeah. He's a killer with that microphone. But he said something very similar to that. It's like, you have to be selective with your time.
Yeah.
And that's something I never thought about. Like, I was always a yes man. Like, can you help? Yep. Can you do this?
Sometimes
yep.
at the beginning, you kind of have to do that though. When you're trying to
do.
Yeah.
But then when you're trying to fine tune it and like really focus your energy, like I find myself now like, and I'm not even like working right now because of my injury, so I have more time, but I find myself even like, man, I don't know if I have time for that. I have this, you know, the governor's thing, I'm on officer support, I'm on peer assistance, I'm in the honor guard, I got my normal job, I got the speaking gig, I got the podcast. It's just like, oh my goodness, like I'm getting pulled all these different directions. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Like you do have to be selective with your time and your energy. To an extent, right? Because you learn going into some of these, like if you say yes to something, it could open a door. But if you say something yes,
as
that
long as
completely
it's part of the
distracts
plan.
you,
Yeah, as long as it's part of the plan. Yeah,
exactly.
Like say yes on purpose, not because you feel guilty or something. Yeah.
Yep. No, that's a very valid point. That is a very, very valid point. So, well, as always, we want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Thin Line Anthem. Your boy is doing PT right now. I got my butt kicked in PT just this morning. This is a funny story. I thought that my PT, my physical trainers were like not up to par. Cause I'm like, I feel like Ryan, right? Like I'm an athlete. I need younger, in shape. And I got my I got my butt kicked today at physical therapy. Like
by the older gentleman that you were not excited to work with.
Yes.
Sorry if he's listening, but AJ did prejudge.
But. No, I did. I prejudged him. I seen him. I was like, man, I need somebody young, like a little bodybuilder, somebody that's gonna be screaming at me. He don't even raise his voice. He's just like, oh, you got 3 more minutes left, AJ. And I'm like,
so it was tough even with him.
He tore me up. He tore me up. Like as you can see, I don't even have my sling on right now because my shoulder just hurt so bad. Like I'm just letting it rest on my lap. So, shout out to Thin Line Anthem because I'm taking their protein, their probiotics, really anything I could get my hands on because they really do make quality products. We're not just saying that because they're our sponsor. If they made awful products, they wouldn't be our sponsor. Truth be told, that's just the reality of the situation. So make sure you hop on their website, thinlineanthem.com. Enter the promo code It's Needed, all capital letters, for how many % off, Billy?
25%
25% off. I tried to slide y'all extra 5% last week, but it did not work. As always, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Make sure you like this podcast on, Spotify, YouTube, like wherever you listen. But more so than that, make sure you tell somebody about this podcast because going into this new year, we really want to extinguish all the negativity surrounding law enforcement that doesn't really belong there. So like all the myths, all the you know what I'm talking about, just all the crap that people are throwing towards our profession. We want to help extinguish that, and we can't help extinguish that to the masses unless we get it out to the masses. So if you have coworkers, if you have loved ones who listen to podcasts, just do me that solid and just tell them, hey, give it one shot. Ryan did that to me 2-3 years ago. He told me about a podcast and it really changed the way that I do my day-to-day. So do that. As always, we appreciate you and we will see you next week. Peace.